The Boston Celtics are getting the praise they deserve after they just beat the Atlanta Hawks 113-103 in a tight victory which they desperately needed to get back into the win column. We'll explore how Joe Mazzulla has praised some of these certain players for stepping up big in this important game for the Boston Celtics. We'll also be looking at Jrue Holiday's injury and how he looks to be on his timetable to return for the Boston Celtics, and also looking at a Celtic that just got sent back down to the Maine Celtics. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz, but before we get into any Boston Celtics content, I would like to say shout out to everyone that's hit that subscribe button. We recently just hit 2,300 subscribers, and we couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you guys so much. But if you guys enjoy Celtics content, make sure you guys want to stay up to date every single day on Boston Celtics content. Hit that subscribe button, and we'd greatly appreciate you guys joining the family. We're so close of passing the New York Knicks and being the top team in basketball besides the Toronto Raptors here on the Digest Media channel. So make sure if you enjoy our content to hit that subscribe button, and we'd greatly appreciate it. But let's dive into the news at hand today. Make sure to grab a snack and get ready to go, as this is going to be a jam-packed episode. But before we get into any content, I'd like to show you guys my favorite play from last night's game.
Brown, right in the lane to get the steal, takes it high, the second for two.
And as you see, that's fans' reaction. That was my exact reaction to that dunk from Jaylen Brown. And wow, the Celtics are back. Let's get into the news as Neemias Queta gets his shine from Joe Mazzulla. Last night, Neemias Queta came in and had an impactful game for the Boston Celtics in the limited minutes that he did play. Unfortunately for Neemias Queta, he had suffered an injury early on in the season with his foot. That's why he just getting these minutes. But Joe Mazzulla had something great to say about him. We hear from Joe Mazzulla praising Dalano Banton's defensive work and the way he worked the same as a roller and cutter on offense, and credited Neemias Queta for making the game nasty. This was from Jared Weiss of the NBA. And this is great to hear. Dalano Banton obviously getting that start for Jrue Holiday. And in the game versus the Orlando Magic, the Celtics went with Sam Hauser because they felt that he was the best fit as he's the next best player up. But Dalano Banton brought very similar things to what Jrue Holiday did bring to the starting offense. He brought defense, he brought playmaking, he brought rebounding, and that's what Jrue Holiday has been doing for the Celtics team. They didn't need an extra scorer. They did not need a guy that was going to be looking to take his own shots. They needed a guy to help create and help out the other superstars, and that's exactly what Dalano Banton did. Same thing with Neemias Queta, as we talked about last night. Neemias Queta had 10 rebounds, and 6 of those being offensive rebounds, more than what the Celtics had in total versus the Orlando Magic, and he stepped up tremendously for the Boston Celtics when his number was called. We also have some more praise for Neemias Queta from Jayson Tatum. This is a tweet from Noah Dalzell. Excuse me if I pronounce your name wrong, but this was reposted by Jared Weiss, saying that this was Jayson Tatum's quote on Neemias Queta last night. He was big for us tonight. Just the energy that he brought off the bench. I give a lot of credit to those guys. The stay ready group. It's tough not knowing when your number is going to get called. Tonight they helped us win that game. And I totally agree, Jayson Tatum. That is exactly what you want to see from those guys that don't know if their number is going to get called. Guys like Neemias Queta, Lamar Stevens, Oshae Brissett, they play in a sporadic of 1 every 3 or 4 games. So when their number is called and they have to be able to make an impact for the Celtics team, they have to be ready to go. Neemias Queta definitely knew that his number was getting called last night and was ready for that impact as he came out and dominated for the Boston Celtics this regular season. We had seen him dominate in the preseason, but hadn't seen him get that much minutes in the regular season. I believe he played 1 game prior to this where he only played roughly around 5 minutes and didn't work out the greatest. But in tonight's game, he definitely had his most impactful games and minutes this season, and hopefully Neemias Queta can still find that role with the Boston Celtics in this regular season. But let's look at some more news on top of this topic, talking about Jordan Walsh being sent back down. Yes, unfortunately for Jordan Walsh, he was recently just called up to the Boston Celtics not that many days ago. My co-worker Josh made a video on that, but unfortunately for Jordan Walsh, he will now be assigned back to the Maine Celtics. He was called up for the 2 games, the one versus the Magic and one versus the Atlanta Hawks, where he saw 0 minutes of action sitting on the floor versus the Atlanta Hawks game in the TD Garden last night. And this was unfortunate. I'm a huge supporter of Jordan Walsh. I thought very big things and highly of him after the Celtics got him in the draft and after they talked about how they wanted him at 25. They felt that they could get him at 25. They know he's an NBA-ready player. After seeing him play so greatly for the Boston Celtics in the Summer League, I was like, this is going to be our Grant Williams replacement. This is our guy. Unfortunately, he just hasn't had that momentum yet, hasn't had to get that playing style yet, and he hasn't been able to dominate. He has been tremendous for the Maine Celtics, and that is why he's most likely going to back. He's going to be able to get some playing time and actually play there. Celtics brought him up for some insurance with the whole Kristaps Porzingis injury. They might not need him. They might feel more confident in Neemias Queta and Luke Kornet. They're going to send Jordan Walsh back down. They're going to have him develop, play alongside J.D. Davison, and dominate. I'm very excited to see how well his little duo with J.D. Davison turns out, and how they can look for this Maine Celtics team. Because if this team can gel and be nice for this Maine Celtics team, and the next year or two when some of our guys are not going to be on the roster and we have to bring up guys like Jordan Walsh and J.D. Davison, they're already going to have that connection from the Maine Celtics and already be a nice 1-2 duo that can work solid for our bench unit. I could see in a next year or even the year after that where these two are actually solid role players for this Celtics bench. And that is why I think the Celtics need to keep them together and have them play alongside together in the G League. I think it'll be very impactful for this duo to grow alongside each other, and I think in the NBA, if they were to come up together, they can make some force and reckon with some things in the NBA. Good looks for Isaac, though. Our reporter, Isaac, he is going to the Maine Celtics game this week, so he'll get to see some Jordan Walsh games and get to see some Jordan Walsh minutes, and he will break that all down for us and let me know how well and impactful Jordan Walsh is being for this Maine Celtics team. But let's get into the last news at hand, the most important news, the news why you guys are here. Jrue Holiday returning soon. As we talked about, the Celtics recently just got bit with that injury bug. They had been avoiding it for so long, but unfortunately, it always comes to bite you at the worst moments. The Celtics lost Kristaps Porzingis in the Orlando Magic game with already Jrue Holiday sitting out, and both of the guys were unfortunately not able to play in last night's matchup versus the Atlanta Hawks. Luckily, the Celtics still found a way to get that W, and Kristaps Porzingis, we have found out, might be taking a little bit more of a timetable. He's not going to be reevaluated till next week. He'll be out this whole week, and we'll see how he progresses. But Jrue Holiday is looking to be in a better bounce-back state. As we look, Jay King says that Joe Mazzulla said Jrue Holiday went through a workout on the court today and the team will know more tomorrow on his status. Seems to be getting close, though, which is ultimately great for the Boston Celtics to hear. And if we want to look at another tweet from Jared Rice, he basically says the same thing. Jrue Holiday went through a workout on the court at practice today and is getting a little bit better, per Joe Mazzulla. Holiday has been out with a right ankle sprain this week, so not that great for Jrue Holiday. Hopefully this ankle can heal and he can be back and ready to go for this Celtics team. He has been very impactful on the defensive side of the ball. Not the greatest shooter for the Boston Celtics. I'm not going to lie. He hasn't been the most dominant offensively, but that's not the role that he was brought in to be for the Boston Celtics. He was brought in to be that playmaker, that do-it-all guy like Kristaps Porzingis, finding the role that he needs to do in that game. If he needs to get offensive rebounds and fight for those rebounds, he'll go and do it. If he needs to be that playmaker to go out there and give Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown those good looks to hit their threes and to score 30 points, he will do that. If Jayson Brown or Jayson Tatum is out and it's just him and Kristaps Porzingis, he will step up and take the offensive workload and try to go for 15 or 20 points. But it's whatever the Boston Celtics need, and that's the mentality that I love to see come out of a guy like Jrue Holiday. Him and Derrick White have really bought into that mentality where they're just going to do everything on both sides of the floor and try to be the most consistent on offense and defense, and that is something that I love to see out of this dynamic guard group. I think that they can be a set guard group and be a very dominant guard group in the league. Hopefully Jrue Holiday will be back tomorrow. As we see, the status will be up there tomorrow. Hopefully he can play in the game, in the in-season tournament game versus the Chicago Bulls. But if not, hopefully he'll be back on Friday night versus the Philadelphia 76ers, as that is a key matchup versus another top team in the Eastern Conference. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, though. Do you guys think Jrue Holiday will be back this week, or do you guys think he will sit out for the rest of the week like Kristaps Porzingis and will come back ultimately next week? But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you guys are still at this point in the video and still aren't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we know you enjoy the Celtics content. I'm Bruce Velez. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Celtics Digest, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.